Hi everyone, I'm Nick, here the writer of B2B Marketing Shots, and today we have invited Pawel to speak with us about the value of content, especially in an AI first world, and how a writer will go against AI. We'll be talking a lot about attribution and the value of content. And Pawel, you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, so I'm Pawel. I'm a freelance content writer and editor. And thanks for having me, Nick.
I want to talk to you for a long time. So as an expert SME on B2B, especially B2B SaaS, right?
Oh, thanks. That's very kind. Yeah.
So I know Pablo for a long time because he writes pretty well on several SaaS and several B2B SaaS, and he's a subject matter expert on the topics. So let's see how a strong writer considers where to choose, how to prove your value, first of all, today, which we know that there is a lot of challenges about AI. I hear it every time from people I work, from CEOs, when I have to choose, when I have to give budget, why use a writer over an AI?
That's a big dilemma for the decision makers. I think there's no escaping from using AI, and AI is going to be involved at some point in the process. But I think that the higher the value of the assets and the more important the role of them is, that the bigger role of the writer should be. So we talk about, let's say, top of the funnel content. You can probably get away with automating big parts of the production there. But then if we look at the thought leadership content, or if we look at bottom of the funnel content that actually drives the pipeline, that's where the role of the writer is huge, and that's something that shouldn't be outsourced. And that's where a good writer can make a difference.
How are conversations with your clients going right now? Like, give me an example of you are speaking with clients.
Mhm.
They are asking you what are they asking? What are the usual things that customers are asking right now?
So at the moment, the clients that I'm working with, they don't use AI at all for any kinds of assets. At least as far as I know. Definitely they don't want me to use an AI to produce any assets. So it's all written by me. And I think there might be some role that the AI plays in their overall content strategy. But as far as the assets that I create for them, they stress that it needs to be written by human, and they are really particular about it.
What do you think your clients do not use AI, specifically your clients? Do they have any reasons?
I don't know, to be honest. I think there is a little bit of uncertainty about the potential perception of content written by AI by the customers. There was a study that friend Dan Mowinsky has conducted recently about how the audience and consumers are skeptical about content that they know was created by AI. So that could be one factor. So yeah, companies, brands may not want to be associated with AI content because they are afraid that this could undermine trust among customers.
So I would say perception and association more than reality or counting it.
Yeah, I mean, one thing that Dan found was that consumers actually weren't able to distinguish between AI and human-generated assets. It was only the aversion kicked in only when they were told that the content was created by AI. Okay, and that just
Marketing is all about perception.
Yeah,
This is
yeah. So I think that could be one of the factors, and also there are things like the ownership. So if the content is created by AI, it's like how do we make sure that it is actually how do we make sure that we own it? Okay, it's how do we make sure it's original? And that's quite difficult because it is going to be kind of recycled in one way or another. So that's probably a factor.
so my last question for now for AI, because I want to go into more interesting things. A lot of people are talking about AI, but it's not content, not just that about content. It's just a popular conversation. How do your clients usually want you to prove that it's not AI content? Do they use a tool? Do they just trust you?
Yeah, so it's a mix of trust, but I'm working with one client that uses a tool, and yeah,
I was working with a client using one of these tools last year, and
yeah,
it was very, very annoying. Just because even if I wrote the article myself, 100%, because I write technically, it always marked it, and
yeah.
I knew I didn't do anything, so it's annoying.
Yeah, I was a little bit concerned about it as well, but then I knew what tool it was, and I just took the tool and I ran a few of my pieces myself, and it was like, showing 99% human written or 100% human written, like regularly. And at that point, I was just like, well, it doesn't seem to be an issue whatsoever. So I'm happy, yeah.
That's good. I think in my place for to anyway, and one thing that you mentioned before we start the recording was about attribution, and I really like this conversation.
Okay.
And I want to talk about the value and the attribution of content.
So yeah, measuring the impact or measuring the impact and calculating the ROI of content has always been really difficult. And that's because, attribution is one of those things. Is like during the customer journey, the potential customer would engage with a number of assets, a number of touch points, and like which of them exactly push them to make the purchase decision. So that's the start, and that's always been an issue. And then that's one side.
Just to intrude here, and you have to decide, this is first touch, this is last touch.
Yeah, exactly.
It's multi-touch attribution, like using a tool and measuring how many touch points on content, and is this really what you want? And you don't measure the external or the cookie blockers or anything like. And especially when you go on enterprise, you see that touches become not 30, it's 70, it's 150 touches, it's
exactly
10 on a committee, and they discuss, and it's always they self-attribute to a friend or a colleague.
Yeah,
so,
and then, and I think that's going to get even with some of the customer journey moving to AI search and customers using AI to research potential product. That's going to be even more difficult because we're suddenly going to lose the information about everything that happens inside those products, right? So we won't be, there will be either traffic coming directly from the AI search results, or it will be, I don't know, an increase in branded search, because we don't know what happens within that, in the conversation with the chatbot.
I would also argue that we already were losing for 2-3 years. Attribution is losing its grip, and if your company is any company is GDPR or CCPA compliant, actually you cannot attribute almost anything. Let's talk about the recent top tools like from Zoom Info into B2B or 6sense. If you really want to be compliant, you probably should not be using these tools that everyone's using. But if you use these tools, you can track attribution. So it's an ethical and legal question.
Yeah.
It's so difficult. I will argue that most companies are in the gray or the red zone for illegality in terms of attribution, just to be able to attribute.
Yeah, I haven't looked at it from the legal perspective, to be honest. I it's just looking at it from like a purely technical side of it. But
my job. I'm on the demand.
I have,
of course, I have to know that my leads are collected legally.
Of course. So that's that. But also, it's like, yes, filling the pipeline. That's that's just one of the roles of content. But there are things like, I don't know, driving upsells and driving, account expansion, reducing the impact or the cost of customer support, because if the customers can figure out how to do something from a blog post, they're not going to have to contact the support agents or whatever. Okay, so all those things. And we've never been really good at measuring those things to start with. Again, how can we attribute that? And there are so many things like, okay, well, let's take we talked about blog, TOEFL content, right? A blog post, a guide, or whatever. And say, a comprehensive ultimate guide. It's got lots of backlinks. It's not going to convert itself, and it's not going to help fill the pipeline, but it's going to help other articles, product pages rank because of the backlink equity. So
you bring SEO here, and in a lot of times on SEO, especially if you have low budget or you're just starting, the idea is to write BOFU content. But BOFU content, like bottom of the funnel, converting content, cannot rank by itself. It will never attract backlinks. If you write Stripe versus what was the other one? Well, let's say Wire or any other checkout tool, you cannot compare them and expect anyone to link back to them. You have to write a how-to article, a guide, a lead magnet, something that will attract the backlinks and send them to your BOFU article or create the awareness and the authority.
Yeah, and again, it's like, how can you calculate the value of an article like that? I mean, well, you could. I mean, it all depends on the metrics that you use. If you look at the backlinks that they attract, and you can kind of calculate how much a piece like that could be worth. But it's hard.
The best managers I have seen, or the best growth managers, they usually attribute a fake amount, because this will get you fake amount. I don't mean it's fake thing, but you assign a value on backlinks, you assign a value of traffic, you kind of calculate something indirectly. So in this way, you can explain the value of the thing that you're offering to the CFO, to the CEO. And unfortunately, right now, decisions are going to the board. So even to the board, you have to explain them with monetary values. And this is how you win the conversation. Whereas if you don't assign a monetary value to your activities, even the ones that do not generate revenue, you will not do the supporting brand work that you need to perform on the revenue. It's like sales wants to have something to do touches to the clients, but if you tell them, oh no, a white paper does not generate revenue, you will not write it. The sale will not close because sales just had a, hi, are you ready to buy? It's a funny conversation.
That's it. So one more thing is like, the value of content when we look at it, again, in the age of AI, or with the AI surge and so on, whether that's increasing, decreasing.
It's tough to say that value is decreasing. It's easier to say that I think expert written human content will be increasing in value.
Okay.
But because it's being commoditized, it cannot really get the value that you expect because of the low quality value that is commoditized. It's a tough market right now for writers. But if you were to sell to a company right now, let's say you do a pitch, why do they need content today if they're not paying a writer? Let's say I'm a CEO, I'm using AI, I'm writing some blog posts, some support articles. It's kind of working. I get some traffic, I get some conversions, I get clients, I'm writing my emails with AI. So why do I need you? Consider I'm the CEO and you're pitching me. So I will answer for you because your silent answers to me. What's your answer is that it's about, again, perception and belief. Your clients are coming to you because they see your great content on LinkedIn. And I'm guessing that your clients are coming inbound, right? They know you and they are coming to you and asking you. You are not reaching out, you're not trying to sell, because people who think I can write this with AI will not come to you.
Okay, so it's a mix of inbound and outbound. I've had actually more success with outbound recently than inbound. So
okay, but still, I do think that people who are coming, they are coming with a decision that they want to have a writer, right? They don't come with resistance, which means people who want AI are naturally resistant. to your to arguments or
Yeah.
to using a writer or
Yeah,
AI.
that's true. So I guess even when I reach out to companies, I know that, they either I know that they invest in content, or that a human written content, or that's what I try to establish at the beginning of the conversation. So, well, do you work with writers? Do you work with freelance writers, editors? That's one of the opening questions very often, just to determine the
Willingness.
the willingness and how they approach content. And
Yeah, so it's very good, Liz, because you are making them self-filter in what they do. So it reinforces in my mind what I think. Like, people will either go in one base or the other, and just agree to disagree.
that's, I suppose, how it works. Yeah.
So it was short but pretty interesting. But let's go close it with the state of content. We are recording this on middle of December, and this will go live somewhere in January.
Okay.
So where do you think content is, and where content is going next year?
So I think there's going to be more demand for data-driven content, so research studies, research reports. More demand for bottom of the funnel content. More demand for thought leadership content. So these are the three that I think that they're going to be in huge demand next year. There's going to be a lot of demand for repurposing. So it's not only about blog content, but it's also about visibility across multiple channels. So newsletters, social media, Reddit, if we can consider it as one of them. I mean, it's huge. YouTube. Okay, so I think that's so it's not just SEO content, but it's about being visible across multiple channels.
I think content was viewed as a main source for SEO for years, but right now it's becoming something more multi-channel. So was always, but right now it's becoming more prominent. We need to reuse, we need to repurpose. I will also add images, because while doing SEO, and it's getting better. Gemini is becoming better, at least much better than ChatGPT on creating images. But it cannot create the winning images you want for SEO content. And it's also something that AI's Perplexity and ChatGPT and Gemini are referring even more, citing images. And the AI overviews will be citing more images and more video.
Yeah, it's definitely something to look at.
Yeah, I know visual is not your domain, so that's why I'm adding. What do you think about brands, SEO personal brands? You mentioned thought leadership, but do you count it on that bucket? What's different?
We've already seen it, like, the last couple of years. But when I talk to people who do LinkedIn ghostwriting, for example, it's quite from what I see, there's quite a lot of demand for the services. So I think that's going to be that.
Anyway. Yeah, thank you, Pawel. It was very interesting.
Yeah, thank you.